Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome back to yoga class. So, today we're going to do yin yoga for deep stretching, relaxation, and meditation. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about some of the props I have over here with me for yin yoga. So, I have this extra huge pillow, which I'm using as a bolster. And then I have two other extra large pillows from my couch. If you don't have extra large pillows like this, just use regular sized pillows, but use a lot of them. And then I also have a lumbar pillow. If you don't have pillows this size or shape, go ahead and use some bed pillows. I also have this very thick quilted knit blanket, which I'm using as an additional bolster. These are for relaxation and to just kind of lay into our poses. Also, you're always prepared for yoga if you have a yoga strap, which we're going to be using today actually. And you're also always prepared if you have at least 2 yoga blocks. So I'm going to be using one of my 2 blocks. Well, actually, I'm going to be using all my blocks today. And a mat, like you saw me say, always use a mat. So today I'm super duper bundled up and I'm wearing socks. Usually I say take the socks off, but today it's okay. It's all about relaxation today. So whatever you're most comfortable wearing, you can do the yoga today with whatever clothes you're wearing. Mine are extremely comfy and cozy, and I'm super duper warm as I'm doing the poses. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off laying on our backs with our knees bent. Go ahead and pull your knees to your chest. What we're going to do right now is some very small lower back hip circles. So go ahead and start moving your knees in a small circle in whatever direction you want. I started moving them to the right, so I'm doing very small hip circles, and the purpose is to go ahead and massage and work out your lower back muscles. So you should be feeling very good in your lower back. That's your aim here. Go ahead and stop, and then go ahead and start moving in the other direction. Remember, today's poses and movements are all about relaxation. You shouldn't feel too deep of a stretch, but you should feel very relaxed. Now go ahead and open your legs and grab the outside of each foot into happy baby pose. I know I'm wearing a lot of dark colors right now and you can't see, but my knees are aiming towards my armpits and my lower back is pressed against the mat. Okay, make sure that lower back doesn't come up and make sure your shoulders stay down in this pose and don't forget to breathe. Okay, now we're going to move into half happy baby. So let go of your left leg and keep hold of your right leg. Make sure that knee is aiming towards your armpit as much as possible, and make sure your left hip stays on the mat. Make sure it's not popping up. Also, you can't see my left toes, but make sure your left toes are active and pointed straight towards the ceiling. Okay, now we're going to move right into a thread the needle pose. So take your right ankle crossed over your left knee and grab the back of your left thigh. I'm grabbing my left shin for a deeper stretch here, and you can do that as well if you'd like. Don't forget to breathe in this stretch. Okay, go ahead and come out of it and go back into double happy baby. So grab both of those feet, let go of your right foot and straighten it out on the mat and keep hold of that left foot. Your left knee should be aimed towards your left armpit. That's where it should be headed, and then keep that lower back on the mat. Make sure that your right hip isn't popping off the mat and keep your right toes active. You can see my right toes a little bit now, and they are pointed up towards the ceiling. Breathe here and make sure that you're releasing any tension in your shoulders and your jaw. All right, so remove that foothold and come into the opposite thread the needle pose. So put your left ankle over your right knee and go ahead and grab your right thigh or your right shin. I'm grabbing my right shin for a deeper stretch here. And just hold here, relax into the pose. Just enjoy the stretch here. All right, go ahead and pull your knees to your chest, roll off to one side, gently push yourself up to seated, and now we're gonna go ahead and come into our tabletop pose. So go ahead and get on your hands and knees. Make sure that your shoulders are above your wrists and your knees are below your hips in a straight line. I'm wearing a very baggy sweater, so you can't really see my arms and legs too well. Now we're gonna move through some cat and cow. So go ahead and hunch your back up, drop your chin and drop your tailbone into cat. Inhale, arch your back, chest up for cow face. Exhale. Inhale and move into cow face pose. Exhale, head down, tailbone down into cat. And then inhale into cow face pose with the back arch. Oh, there's shadow. Exhale to cat pose. And then if you have a pet that's nearby, you can use your hand to give it some pets. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and come out of tabletop, and we're gonna go ahead and move our right foot into a low lunge. So I move my sweater so you can see my hips and my ankle and my knee. So my knee and ankle are in a straight line. There's no problem with tracking there. And then my hips are kind of like pushed towards the mat to get a really big stretch there. And if you have blocks, I used blocks to give myself some extra length there. If you don't have blocks, you can just simply place your hands on the ground, use a book, use whatever it is. But for me, for a stretch, I like to have that extra length from my hands to the mat, just so I can push my hips down a little bit further. Also, make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears. Now what we're gonna do is straighten out that right leg. This is called half splits. So make sure that your hips are square, your right knee is straight, and you can see that my left knee is bent here. So this is called a half split. If you're flexible and have a full split in your practice, you can actually move forward into full splits. I don't have a full split in my practice, so if you have a block, you can place it above your hips so you can get a little further to the ground. Only if it's in your practice. If not, just kind of stay here in half splits. And there's another kitty. Okay, go ahead and move your knee and straighten it back into that low lunge. We're gonna go back into half split once again in a moment here. Okay, breathe here. Just try to work out any kinks you have in the hips and move forward a little bit. All right, now go ahead and straighten that right leg out and move back into half split, and go ahead and do a little stretch there. Once again, make sure that back is straight and your hips are square, so no hips popping on either right or left side. Okay, move right back into that lunge, and then we're gonna switch legs. So go ahead and put your left leg in front. So now your left leg is in a very low lunge. Make sure that your knee is above your ankle, and make sure that your hips are low and square. Make sure your shoulders are down. Once again, I'm gonna keep using my blocks to give myself a little bit of length. If you have blocks, you can use them on the highest, and that feels pretty nice to me, but I'm gonna use it on the medium level. If you don't have blocks, it's okay. You can just place your hands on the floor. Breathe here in the stretch. Make sure that your shoulders don't creep up. All right, go ahead and straighten that left leg into half splits. Okay, so my hips are square, left leg is straight, toes are pointed up towards the ceiling, active. You can use your blocks for stability and support. If you're flexible and have a split in your practice, you can move into a full split. I do not have a full split in my practice, but if not, you can place a block underneath your left thigh to support you. I'm not gonna go for it today. If not, it's okay to just remain in regular half split. Okay, now we go ahead and bend that left knee back into a low lunge. Kind of working up the hips here. And go ahead and straighten out the left leg back into half split. And make sure that your back remains straight. You may be very close to the ground, so it might be easy to arch. Don't arch or hunch over. Just keep that back as straight as you can, because then you'll be able to feel that stretch in your hips. All right, go ahead and bend your left knee back into that lunge, and then go ahead and come to kneeling. Okay, now we're gonna move into our first pose. So we were just kind of stretching out at this point, and now we're actually going to move in our first restorative pose, okay? So go ahead and, if you don't have any pillows yet, pause the video now and gather up a bunch of pillows. Trust me, you're going to need them. Pillows and a really thick blanket. Remember, you're in control, you can pause the video. But once you have all your supplies, what you're gonna wanna do is create a bolster. So I used a lumbar pillow and a really thick blanket. And right now I'm laying in a wide-legged child's pose. Okay, so my knees are open and the pillow is between my thighs, so it's like level with my chest. So make sure that you bolster yourself up enough that you can simply lay in this pose comfortably. If you don't have enough bolster, you're gonna feel a discomfort and too much stretch. So make sure that there's plenty of, cushion on your chest and between your hips, so you can literally just lay here. So we're gonna go ahead and lay in this pose. My shoulders are relaxed, my arms are to my side. I had to take my glasses off to be a little bit more comfortable. And it's comfortable for me to lay with my right cheek down and my head, to the left. So if you want to place your forehead down instead, whatever is most comfortable for you. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and remain here for a few minutes. And so just go ahead, breathe deeply and relax, and I'll be right back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start to gently come out of it. So go ahead and sit up, and we're going to adjust our bolster a little bit for our second pose. Okay. So what I did is I added my super big pillow. It's super squishy, and that's what I use as a bolster. And then let's see what I do next. I added another extra large pillow right next to it. And then I place my really thick blanket in the middle between the two. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and actually sit on the edge of the bolster. So we're sitting on it just a little bit. So our lower back's on the pillow, and then we're laying back in hero pose. So our legs are kind of apart, and you can either lay with your arms up or you can lay touching your feet. So your bolster should be supporting your lower, mid, and upper back and head, but your thighs and legs should be kind of stretched down a little bit. So you should feel a little bit of a stretch in your hips. Okay, if this is too much, add more bolster. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and relax here for a few minutes. So make sure that you have enough bolster, find a good spot, make sure that your shoulders are down, you're breathing, and make sure that your eyes are closed. These are about restoration and relaxation. So you don't have to try to feel any stretches, you don't have to try to get relaxed without any support. This is about total relaxation because your body needs at least a day to sit in these restorative poses to get ready for, more workouts, more stretches, more cardio, anything like that. It always needs a day to repair itself. So go ahead and relax here, and I'll be back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and gently start to come out of the pose. So we're gonna get ready for our third pose now, and I'm just trying to contemplate what kind of bolster I wanna use. So I still have my extra large orange pillow, and then I have my blanket that I just folded over again, so it's about 2/3 the height of that big pillow, but I added another pillow, so now they should be the same height. And, oh, nope, I removed that pillow. Okay, so I just have my big pillow and my blanket, and then I'm using a block here. If you don't have a block, simply try to use another pillow. This block is meant for ankle support. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit in an alternative Shavasana pose. So we're basically just lying on our back. So I'm laying completely on my pillows. The only thing that's touching the ground here is my head. So my neck is supported, but the back of my head is supported by the ground here. So you're gonna want that stretch in your neck. And then my ankles are supported with this block. If you don't have a block, place something underneath your ankles to give you some lower back support. If you don't want that, you can go ahead and place your ankles on the ground, but you might feel some pressure in your lower back. And if you do, come out of it, add something under your ankles and relax into it. You should feel absolutely no discomfort here. Go ahead and flop your arms out open as if we were in a regular Shavasana. Close your eyes. Keep your shoulders away from your neck and your ears, unclench your jaw, and just relax into it, and I'll be right back. Alright, so go ahead and gently wake yourself up. Place your feet on the floor, and we're going to move out of our pose and into our next pose. Alright, so our next pose is going to be done on either or both sides of our body. So we're going to start kneeling, and we're going to place our bolster on the left hip, at the left hip. Okay, so go ahead and sit down on the floor and place your legs to your right. So you're kind of like sitting with your butt on the floor, your knees are in front of you, and your feet are to the right of you. And you're kind of facing one direction. But what we're going to do is we're going to place our bolster on our left hip. So we're going to go ahead and turn just our like ribs and our shoulders to the left and lay down completely on our bolster. So we're kind of in a little bit of a twist. So I'm just laying here, and my left cheek is on the pillow. But if you want a really big stretch, you can actually put your right cheek on the pillow if you wanted to, only if it feels good. It felt good for me to just kind of cuddle up with these pillows, and they were just right underneath my chest at this point. So my chest and my shoulders are flat against the pillows. Okay, so make sure that you're trying to at least enhance a little twist and isolate your hips and your waist from your rib cage and your shoulders here. Go ahead and make sure that those shoulders don't creep up. Make sure that you're releasing your jaw. Make sure that you're breathing. Your eyes are closed. And as you lay here, I know that it's been pretty quiet for your other poses, and you may have let your mind wander. But don't let it wander too much where you begin to think about things you should be doing or worrying about things that need to be done. Everything will be there waiting for you after this practice is over. It's a new year. Just grant yourself the ability to focus on yourself quietly. If it helps, focus on your inhale and your exhale. You can even count them if you wish. And if you lose count, or if you begin to think about something else, become aware of that and just bring your mind back in and think about those breathing counts. Inhale and exhale. I'll be back. So begin to wake yourself up a little bit. Go ahead and sit up. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. So go ahead and switch your seated position. So now the bolster is next to your right hip. Your butt is sitting on the floor, your knees are in front of you, and your feet are at your left now. Okay, so we have the bolster on our right side. We're going to go ahead and isolate our ribs and our shoulders and turn our upper body to completely lay down flat on the bolster. And go ahead and lay here, but make sure you're still trying to get that twist at your waist. And make sure you have enough bolster to support you. You shouldn't feel any uncomfortable stretches, and you certainly shouldn't be experiencing any pain. So add bolster or remove bolster and support until it suits you. Don't forget, you can pause this and adjust yourself and then unpause it. You don't have to kind of rush through, because I want you to be able to sit in these poses for this many minutes. We're sitting in each pose for 3 minutes, if you're wondering. And that's for a good reason. You definitely need to kind of relax into this pose. So instead of it being a stretch, a quick pose, this is something that we're training your body to become comfortable and relaxed in these poses. This is very similar to whenever we do a regular yoga practice. And at the end, when we move into our corpse pose or Shavasana, when your body feels that pose or that posture, it immediately knows subconsciously to go into a relaxed state. And that's kind of what we're getting at here with these poses. And that's why this yoga is called Yin Yoga. Yin is for restorative poses. I'll be back. Alright, so go ahead and start to wake yourself up. And go ahead and sit up out of this position. And go ahead and move your pillows and your bolsters and stuff out of the way. So, full disclosure, I've migrated in front of a wall, and that is for a reason, because we're going to do our final 2 postures with our legs up the wall. So go ahead and pause the video, find a wall, or find something that supports you from your hips all the way up to your mid-thigh or at least your knee. So you have something supporting your lower body, okay? So go ahead and do that, pause it. But if you're near a wall like me, go ahead and place your hips right next to it, swing your legs up, and then go ahead and push your tailbone against the wall. So right now I'm sitting with my soles of my feet together and my knees apart like a butterfly position. And this is one of our postures. So we're going to go ahead and remain here. And just so you know, as you're in this position, it's totally normal for you to feel a big stretch, or if you have the flexibility, you might just feel your feet kind of sliding gently down the wall as you relax more into this, and that's okay too. As long as you try to keep the soles of your feet touching, that's kind of what we're after here. If you're feeling a stretch that's a bit too much, go ahead and place your arms at your thighs and kind of give yourself a little bit of this support here. What we're going to do is just rest here for a few moments. It's extremely good for your body to rest in a position with your legs vertical and your body laying on the floor. It helps with circulation. It helps with any gastrointestinal issues. And it always helps if you sit all day long to invert your body. Go ahead and rest here, and I'll be back. So we're going to go ahead and come out of this pose. And we're going to go ahead and straighten our legs. So our legs are completely up the wall. And you can see Luke threw me my yoga strap. So if you have a yoga strap, go ahead and place it around your ankles and tighten it. If you don't have a yoga strap, pause the video, grab a hoodie, a necktie, something really thin to wrap around your ankle and tighten it, okay? The aim of this tightness is to keep your ankles as close together as possible. So what you'll be doing is you'll actually be using a little bit of your abdominal strength to keep your legs straight and up the wall, but this tie or this strap is going to aid with your legs falling apart as you relax. Okay, so go ahead and relax here. I'm not even holding the strap, it's just keeping my ankles together. Go ahead and flop your arms out. Make sure that your shoulders aren't creeping up. I just kind of fixed that myself. Make sure that you are releasing any tension in your jaw. Make sure that you're breathing deeply into your chest, your shoulders, and your stomach. Make sure that your eyes are closed. I promise my eyes are closed, although my glasses are still on. And this is going to be our final pose. And after this pose, we're going to move into a very brief guided meditation. So go ahead and just relax here for a few more moments, and I'll be back. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make some small movements and get ready to come out of this pose. Go ahead and remove your ankles from the bind or the strap or the hoodie or blanket or whatever it is you use to keep them together. And go ahead and roll off to one side and get rid of all your straps and everything like that. So for meditation, I usually prefer to sit on a bolster, and you can do that too if you want. So if you choose to sit, go ahead and place a really thick blanket on the ground there. Go ahead and sit on it just on the edge, so your hips are a bit higher than your ankles, so you're not rounding your back during this seated position, because we're going to be sitting for a little while. If you don't like to sit and it kind of tenses you up, go ahead and move into a Shavasana pose. Okay, so just go ahead and lay in a resting pose. If you're seated, go ahead and place your hands face up on your knees with your thumbs touching the middle finger of each hand. Relax your shoulders, breathe deeply, and close your eyes. We're going to go ahead and begin our guided meditation here. So this meditation is called A Day at the Beach. You may have heard of it. It is a very popular guided meditation, but it is one of my favorites. So go ahead and allow your body to completely relax. Feel a wave of relaxation flow from the soles of your feet to your ankles, lower legs, hips, pelvic area, abdomen, chest, hands, back, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, shoulders, neck, back of your head, face, all the way to the top of your head. Allow your entire body to rest heavily on the surface where you sit or lie. Now that your body is fully relaxed, allow the visualization relaxation to begin. Imagine you're walking toward the ocean, walking through a beautiful tropical forest. You can hear the waves up ahead. You can smell the ocean spray. The air is moist and warm. Feel a pleasant, cool breeze blowing through the trees. You walk along a path, coming closer to the sea. As you come to the edge of the trees, you see the brilliant aqua color of the ocean ahead. You walk out of the forest and onto a long stretch of white sand. The sand is very soft powder. Imagine taking off your shoes and walking through the hot white sand towards the water. The beach is wide and long. Hear the waves crashing to the shore. Smell the clean salt water and beach. See the waves washing up onto the sand and receding back towards the ocean, washing up and flowing back down. Enjoy the ever-repeating rhythm of the waves. Imagine yourself walking towards the water. You can feel the mist from the ocean on your skin. You walk closer to the waves and feel the sand becoming wet and firm. A wave washes over the sand towards you and touches your toes before receding. You walk further into the water if you wish. And now you are feeling calm and refreshed. Stroll along the beach at the water's edge, free of worries. And you see up ahead is a comfortable looking lounge chair just for you. As you approach the lounge chair, you sit or lie down, enjoying the sun, the breeze, and the waves. You feel peaceful and relaxed. Allow all of your stress to melt away. As you're seated here, sitting in your beach chair, eyes closed, once again bring your attention back to your breath. Inhale through your shoulders and your chest, your abdomen, and exhale. If you're seated, bring attention to your shoulders and relax them. Bring attention to your jaw and relax it. Make sure that your head is not sloping forward or back. And gently make sure that you're not hunching or rounding your back in any way when you're seated. If you're lying down, again, bring awareness to your shoulders, your neck and your jaw, even your face. Make sure that all muscles are relaxed and just enjoy this moment. Continue breathing, and I'll be back. as you're seated here, go ahead and bring attention back to your position, seated or lying down. If you're laying down, go ahead and do some gentle movements. And go ahead and roll to the side and join me in a cross-legged position. If you're already seated, go ahead and start to make some small movements in your fingers and your toes. That was a long time to be seated, so you can do some neck rolls. I went ahead and raised my arms over my head, linked my fingers, and did a side stretch on my right. Then I unlinked and relinked my fingers with the opposite hold and did another side stretch on my left. And then I sat back down on my mat and removed my bolster. Thank you so much for joining me with this guided meditation and the yin yoga today. Namaste to all of you. I'm so glad that I was able to join you back on the mat, especially for the new year. Please let me know what you thought of this video and let me know what you want to see. I would be so happy to make more yoga videos for you. So just let Luke or John or your coaches know what you'd like to see, and I'll make sure I make it happen. Thanks, guys. Take care.